you that much of a fucking coward that you can't sign this goddamn contract? Motherfucker, matter of fact, I'll fight your bitch ass. Let's get it popping right now. You can put the belts on the line and I'll whoop your ass right now. If you don't want to fucking fight Terrence Crawford, let it be known. BLAIR the Flair's here. Let's go.
What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. You just heard from BLAIR the Flair. Woo! And he's getting that ERROL SPENCE Jr. He's saying that he'll sign the contract. He's claiming that ERROL SPENCE Jr. is afraid of Terrence Crawford and basically stalling the contract there. So he's saying if you don't want to fight Crawford, sign on the dotted line to face me. I want to know what you guys think about that. Like, my thing is this. BLAIR the Flair, I think this is just his shtick. He's clearly influenced by WrestleMania or, Royal Rumble or whatever, The Rock, the Attitude Era. So he's, that's his shtick, is to come out like talking the trash talk and things like that. But for me, I always try to give you guys relatable and accurate, realistic content, my truest thoughts. Now, speaking of my content, you see right above, there's a QR code. Make sure you pull out your phone, scan that to subscribe to the channel. Made it real quick, seamless, and easy for you. In the last 30 days, I looked at my YouTube analytics and it showed me half of the people that watch my videos subscribe. The other 50%, they did not. So you can change that right here and now. If you love boxing, hit the subscribe button. It made it easy. Scan that QR code. Now, BLAIR the Flair, I mean, this is just his angle. This is his shtick, but it's not really realistic. And I always strive to do my best and be my best. For one, this is not realistic because BLAIR the Flair was just stopped and knocked out. Like, he's one fight removed from that. He fought Alexis Rocha. There was some good back and forth talk where he was talking about what he's going to do. The night of, he was beat and he lost convincingly. And I think he made a fatal mistake being a young fighter where he kept talking about ERROL SPENCE Jr., He kept talking about ERROL SPENCE Jr. and there was plenty of interviews where there was trash talk from BLAIR, and he probably spent too much time focusing on the wrong thing. Like, you got to focus on the man in front of you. You can't really focus on things that have yet to come into fruition in the sport of boxing when you in that square circle, because at the end of the day, none of that stuff matters if you can't get through the task at hand, which was at that time Alexis Rocha. However, BLAIR the Flair has come back and put a W in the win column, and that was against Maurice Hooker, who's actually a friend of ERROL SPENCE and Terrence Crawford. But being a friend of ERROL SPENCE and a friend of Terrence Crawford doesn't necessarily make Hooker that. Hooker, if I'm not mistaken, missed weight by a lot in that particular fight, but the fight went on. It was a DAZN card or a Golden Boy card or whatever, and, he had several knockdowns. I want to say 3 knockdowns. BLAIR the Flair. That was, a cool comeback for where he was in his career, because he was at a spot where he was coming off a stoppage loss. So a lot of people probably jumped off the bandwagon, lost faith. All that trash talking doesn't really seem to hold up when you can't back it up, right? But that was a good win for him. Nice, sturdy win, even though Virgil Ortiz stopped Maurice Hooker. BLAIR Flair was in a different position in his career at that time, again, coming off the Rocha loss. So he needed a win, and he got it. And he got some knockdowns. Maurice Hooker didn't look the same. And it's so weird in boxing, but I feel like sometimes fighters, they have one crushing loss and they don't look like the same fighter. And after the Jose Ramirez knockout loss, it's hard to say that Maurice Hooker has been the same fighter, really, And you could probably say the same thing when Chavez Sr. beat Mildred Taylor. Some fights, I don't know what it is. I guess the psychological things, but certain guys get beat badly and then they're not the same. Another person that comes to mind is Antoine Douglas. If you guys remember years ago, this was a name that showed a lot of promise. And then when he lost to they called him the White Mike Tyson, Aventil Curtice, who later got arrested on some RICO charges or whatever. But after the Curtice loss, Antoine Douglas never looked the same. And then I think he lost to Spike O'Sullivan, and he was just getting touched a lot in that fight. So, BLAIR the Flair bounced back off of his victory, but it was against Maurice Hooker, who, again, seems like maybe he hasn't been the same since the Jose Ramirez knockout loss. That was a main event. I remember that specifically because I was in Baltimore for Gervonta Davis fought that same night. And I remember watching Tank's fight. And then later on, that fight was in Texas or wherever. So he lost at home. So again, for where Blair was, that's a good win because he needed a win because he was coming off a loss. But overall, that's not enough to really nab you an Errol Spence fight. Besides that, I think a lot of people are speculating and a lot of people are going to look foolish when the Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford, when and if, I'll say, the Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence fight gets announced, because you have fans, you have YouTubers, you have Instagram pages and Facebook pages. They don't like the silence of Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford negotiations. So people are just inferring what's going on. And I tell you guys all the time on my channel, quiet negotiations, that's the best form of negotiations. The reason being is the less you know and the less the public knows, the less people can get involved to mess up the fight. So it's been a while for Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford negotiations. So I can understand people are getting tired of it, myself included, and people are growing restless. But if they have things they need to iron out, they have things to iron out. But you got people like Blair Cobbs, who has no real insight to the contract details of what's going on. And he's just saying Errol Spence is ducking and calling him out. But what do you say if the Terrence Crawford Errol Spence fight does get announced? So, you know, all that call out was for nothing. But beyond that, Golden Boy, they're not really in a position to have an A-side fighter like Errol come and fight on their network. So it's like, I don't even know if they have the type of money that Errol Spence has been making to even facilitate that. So, you know, I'm making the video because it's current news and that's what I do. But I don't really see this growing any legs. Maurice Hooker, I mean, Blair, the Flair, it was kind of random that he even came out and dissed Errol Spence. But for whatever reason, Errol Spence and Blair, the Flair, they had this ongoing like back and forth. And then Errol Spence, when he seen that Blair got knocked out by Rocha, and during the fight, he was like, I'm going to put him in the dirt, put him in the dirt. In fact, let me read the caption for Blair the Flair and what he said, because he used Errol Spence's verbiage with the put him in the dirt in his caption. So let me pull it up real quick. So in this call out, he says, Blair the Flair puts Errol Spence Jr. on notice. Make it happen or I'm putting you in the dirt. So he took kind of Errol Spence's swag and his flavor, but because Errol Spence, when he got knocked out by, when Blair got knocked out by Rocha, he said, put his butt in the dirt. And then now you got Blair Flair calling him out and said he's going to put Errol in the dirt. But nobody's going to be put in the dirt because I don't see this fight happening. That's just the truth of the matter. So I don't really know why he even called out Errol Spence. Listen, the bottom line, there's levels to boxing. You have to be on a certain level. Like, I remember one time, Luis Collazo, that's my dude. But one time, Luis Collazo called out Floyd Mayweather and said, come to Brooklyn. It's just not logical. Floyd Mayweather's like, you know, the top of the totem pole. He's not going to come to Brooklyn to fight Luis Collazo, who I think had beaten Victor Ortiz, someone that Floyd had beat years ago. Same thing here with the Flair Cobbs. You know, Blair is calling out Errol Spence, but, you know, you ain't got enough stamps in your passport for that to really happen. And you're one fight removed from a knockout loss. Why would a 3-belt champion like Errol Spence fight you? You know, so there's a lot of guys like Rolly's calling out Errol Spence. I mean, at least he's on the same side as Errol Spence, but he's coming off a knockout loss and he has no fights at welterweight. So, you know, I don't know if that's feasible, but, you know, either fight is probably not feasible, but at least Rolly's on the same side. So Rolly would probably get an opportunity before Blair the Flair ever got an opportunity. That's just my 2 cents. Let me know what you guys think. Blair the Flair, woo! He calls out Errol Spence. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Hit the QR code. Subscribe to my channel because I am the best in the business. But you already knew that. And I'm out. A lot of people ask me what I use to create content. Things like YouTube thumbnails that generate thousands of views. For the first time ever, the cat is out of the bag. I use Canva Pro. But Canva Pro is so much more than a YouTube thumbnail maker. Use Canva Pro to curate content for YouTube, TikTok, Instagram Reels, Instagram Stories, and a whole lot more. Flyers, flowcharts, you name it, with Canva Pro. Click the affiliate link in the description to get Canva Pro. Many features, elements available to you. Take your brand to the next level. Invest in yourself. It takes money to make money. So sign up for Canva Pro today. Happy creations. Introducing Super Thanks. Right here on the official Boxing Ego YouTube. Super Thanks allows you, the viewers, to show a little bit of extra gratitude, which enables me as a full-time content creator to push out the content you need in the world of boxing. Underneath all the videos, you will see a heart with a $sign in it. You can enter any amount that you find suitable as a super thanks. A brand new, interactive, and colorful way to get your comments highlighted and noticed by not only myself, but other people on the YouTube platform. Super thanks, a unique and cool way to show and applaud us full-time content creators. Hopefully you guys enjoy the content. Super thanks. The future is now. The Hibernation 5s by Kenichi Bear. Hybrid gaming and lifestyle headphones. Out of the box, you can connect to any console or PC. Bluetooth ready, with a low latency USB adapter, color RGB, and extreme bass mode. The Hibernation 5s adjust to you. Whether you need a gaming, travel, gym, or lifestyle headphones, the Hibernations got you covered. The new Hibernation 5s, link in the description. Customize the way you hear the world. Welcome to the nation. Are you tired of your YouTube videos not getting any views? Well, consider TubeBuddy. I've used TubeBuddy for years to scale up my YouTube channel. Now we're sitting over 200,000 subscribers. TubeBuddy is a browser extension that offers a ton of built-in productivity and time-saving services to take your channel to the next level. Use my link in the description to get started with TubeBuddy and level up your channel faster. We work.